Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe we're live on the real internet?
Gosh.
Absolutely not.
Like, this is
The
the real
internet's
life
fake.
internet. This is that one.
I think every session before this one, we were live on the fake internet.
Yeah, but this one's going to be on the real internet. We paid
Wow.
extra this month, so we get the real internet.
Internet Plus.
Yeah,
Coming to a cloud near you.
Internet Plus.
I mean, that's the direction we're heading.
Yeah, true. Man, what was the... I remember back when I was in high school, there was like a whole thing where it was just a big deal that the Congress was trying to pass this law to make sure that internet ISPs couldn't lock like specific websites behind a paywall. Does anyone else remember this?
No.
Yeah, but didn't that actually have like a negative downturn
The net,
recently?
you mean the net
Yeah.
neutrality thing?
Net neutrality.
Yeah.
I remember that being a talking point.
That was the
Yes.
previous administration that shotgunned that.
Yeah, I was just saying. I
Double net
remember.
neutrality.
I remember back in the day. I remember thinking that's ridiculous. ISPs would never do that, and then now being like, oh, they certainly would.
Yeah.
Did I just see what I thought I saw over there, Mike?
I was shotgunning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were shotgunning.
He was
net
drinking
neutrality,
net neutrality out of a can.
and it was not
Oh.
I don't drink very much, so I don't think I got through very much.
Only on
It was
days that end in
unfiltered.
Y.
I made a big fucking mess.
good. It was unfiltered, so I can get it. It's a little,
Yeah.
little strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have another little improv gameplay exercise thing. If you guys want to try that, we don't have to, but I feel like
Okay.
that'd be fun.
Yes, please.
So last time we did one of these, the idea was basically object work and using your exposition and your adverbs to kind of add character to a moment. This time what we're going to do is we're going to do the same action and we're going to change the emotion of the action. So pick a mundane thing. Jake, what's something mundane that people do often? It doesn't have to be in a fantasy setting.
Chew gum.
Sure, chew gum. So we're going to essentially, we'll start. Jake, pick somebody to start.
Trevor.
Okay, so, and then give Trevor an emotion to convey when his character chews gum. And then when Trevor does it, he'll pass it to the next person and tell them what emotion they have to convey. And so
Okay.
it's just how can you do the same action but convey a different emotion with the subtext of the action.
Gotcha. I'll go with anger first.
All right, Trevor, how can you angrily chew gum? That is a great face you're making. How would you do it if it was a TTRPG and you were also describing what your character did since we're an audio podcast?
Yeah, just
Chew louder. Just chew louder.
I'm chewing gum angrily.
He's cracked. Nemmy Award winner. Okay, pass it off to somebody and switch the emotion, and let's see how they would do it.
Let's do sadness to Mike.
Armus looks down at the ground with gum in his mouth, chewing slows and slows until his tears drop into his mouth and add to his saliva.
Oh man, I feel the sadness.
It's salty.
The music kind of takes away from that particular emotion, but that was great though. Why don't you pass it on to someone?
Cleo, joy, ecstasy, actually. Bump it up.
All right. Frode whips out that piece of gum he's been holding all day for this. Slaps it open, shoves it in his mouth, and he's chewing every bit of fiber. He's enjoying it. This is the moment he's been waiting for. His reward gum. He's done a good thing, and nobody said thunk all day.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
You gonna pass it on?
Oh, I should pass it on, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, back to you, Jake. And I want you to chew it pensively.
All right. Willard sits by the fire listening to Jeffrey roar, and he slowly chews his gum, his jaw smacking slowly as he ponders, what is the secret ingredient to his peach tea.
And he doesn't know.
And I'll bounce it to you, Josh, with the emotion of stress.
Surrounded by just stacks and stacks of papers, you see Sarah, the analyst, sitting at her desk, and she's got this one page that's like wrinkled and crumpled from her constantly going back to it. There is just a pile of gum wrappers surrounding the desk, and the one that's in her hand hasn't even made it to her mouth. She's just tearing it into little stress pieces as she's like staring down at the paperwork, trying to make all the different data points add up.
Give Sarah a damn break. I worry about her. She's only been here. She's been here less than a day.
You know, Freddie was gonna ask, did they have beds? Did they make sure they have beds?
I think
Yes.
we established.
Yeah, they've got
that,
beds.
Okay.
Okay, let's do a different mundane action. Cleo, what's a mundane action, and pick somebody to do it and give them a starting emotion.
All right, mundane in a setting or mundane in real life?
Any. It can be real life if you want.
All right, I was thinking sharpening a knife.
Okay. Who's going first and what emotion?
Jake,
All right.
I want you to sharpen a knife with murderous intent.
All right.
I want you to feel conviction.
Willard crouches on a rooftop of a building in the 8th tier of Gaim. It's dark. He's in the shadows, and he's perched on top, looking down at these criminals who are plotting a heist. And as he sits on top of the roof, he pulls out one of his throwing knives from his bandolier and a sharpening stone, and he begins sharpening intentionally loud enough for the criminals to hear below.
Ooh. Scary.
That is spooky.
That's the gun clocking sound.
I'm gonna go with Mike. I would love to see you portray sharpening a knife humorously.
Oh no. Fucking Armis takes a knife from Wheeler's coat, says, "Watch this." Flips it up in the air, catches it in the pocket of his jacket, pulls out he pulls out his pack of smokes. He opens it up. Inside is the knife. He pulls out the knife. He sticks it in his mouth, and he pulls out a whetstone, and he starts striking it like that's what he's doing instead of smoking.
Nice.
And then he passes it back. Says, "I'm trying to quit."
What a
that
perfect
was
button
good.
for that scene.
Trevor, can
Yeah.
I see sharpening a knife with fear?
So, DeVroid, after losing the criminals that were chasing him, sits down against his wall, looking left and right, making sure no one's around. Pulls out his axe and his whetstone because he had just been using it to fend off, and he very shakingly tries to sharpen his axe, but his hands are shaking too much. It doesn't get the good clean edge that he's looking for. And as he's shaking, he's still looking around, not fully focused on the scene or on the sharpening of his axe. And so as he thinks he's done sharpening it, he goes back to the blade, and it's just this unsharpened garbage.
I want to pause this for a second and highlight something awesome that you did here. You gave your character a failure because it supported the narrative of what was happening to them. That is always allowed. And you can pick something that's not the main task you're trying to attempt. You could attempt something and still fail at some side task that's linked to it. Like you could succeed on the leap but not stick the landing because your character is scared or whatever. And that can be a great way to add narrative to a scene. That was super good, Trevor. Pass it on.
I'm gonna go to Josh with melancholy.
Melancholy.
Oh.
Chasm Jasper sits alone in an office beneath the sword and shield mounted above him. They're shiny. They're already well polished. They haven't been used in years, maybe decades. And he sits there with his short sword, his sort of backup weapon on his desk, sharpening it slowly for a combat he knows he'll never reach. And he just sits there. It's the same motion over and over again. Doesn't even check the blade. Knows it's already sharp. Just that constant shing, shing. The closest noise he'll ever hear to himself getting to draw a blade in battle again. Cleo, I want you to sharpen a knife threateningly.
Ooh. All right. Now, Rode pulls out a knife. Not usually his tool, but he knows it's good for striking a good intimidation or two. He pulls it out, and against his bare skin, proceeds to sharpen it back and forth, his rock skin sharpening the blade in front of him as he slowly but surely approaches his target. And the strikes get slower and slower,
Ooh.
menacingly, as you can see him now creating sparks as more and more force grinds it into a sharp, fine point.
Love it.
He was trying to buy ice cream and they wouldn't sell it.
Yeah, yeah. And that's just unacceptable.
Completely.
Correct.
1 second here, and then we'll get started. I have to pin a message for chat.
And a message.
Second. Here. One
I never got my
second. Cleo never
Go get it now.
got her drink.
Go get it now. You're fine. I need to pin a heads up for the chat. There we go. Because their channel points work a tiny bit differently tonight.
Oh.
Well, we just, wherever Frode is or whatever's happening to him is a different place than where you all are. So I'm just warning the chat, like, hey, if you redeem channel point things, I'm only going to affect one of those two places. So you may have to wait until the story jumps back to the second of those places.
You should have just ended the the message with @Willa the Wisp.
Yeah. Now if Will-o'-the-Wisp gets on us about this in the chat, you can be like, hey, look at the pin. Read the pin message. Read it. Read them and weep. Them's the breaks. Yeah, anyway.
That was good.
That was good, yeah. Cleo is a bike.
Oh, what'd you bring for a drink, Cleo? Oh, Cleo can't hear me yet. What'd you drink? What'd you bring for a drink?
Okay, what's funny is that I just wanted some water, and so I put it in this, which is like a beer stein, I know. The funny part was when I went to go pick it up to go fill it with water, it was left with like 2-day-old stale water in there, and water splashed everywhere. So I was like, all right, gotta dump that out. And refill
Mike,
it
I
with
have
ice.
almost an identical stein to that, Mike.
Boast.
Love it.
I've got my
Oktoberfest.
Wink Badger Gaming branded
Nice.
mug here to drink my drink out of. All dubs, baby. If they're not wins, they're warm-ups.
It's
See,
true.
This one, if I can get the light to not blind it, is the name of my birthplace.
Oh, very cool.
Docksville,
Hell.
if you will.
Docksville.
Did you
yeah,
say
you just
hell?
doxed yourself.
Yes.
All right, well, on that note,
Damn!